Yeah, because how you're going about it learning now. So you're watching videos and then sometimes you speak to people or something or not?
That's pretty much it. I can't every time I try and actually study or like watch one of these videos where they show me a bunch of sentences and then they show me the translation or something like this, or even
Yeah.
some of the stories you see on there, like, oh, I should learn these stories. I'm like, but these stories, for me personally, these stories are incredibly boring. These stories are
Yeah.
just like I can't pay attention to these stories. Like I don't want to remember this and something like these old fables and stuff like this, or I don't
Yeah.
care about that sort of thing. It's not doesn't
Yeah.
interest
They have
me.
very weird vocabulary as well that you would never
Sometimes,
use.
yeah, I find like a lot of the I've tried to do a few of them, and the vocabulary isn't very helpful.
No.
Not all of them, but some of the ones I've seen like that, I'm never going to use the vocabulary of watering can or something like I don't know what it is, but it's like weird stuff that I'm not going to use that right now. Maybe later I'll use that, but then I don't want to learn the story anyhow because it's sort of
Yeah.
a children's story. Yeah, so I've been watching B Plus podcast, which is really good.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
really good. I like it because you can get on YouTube. It also has Persian and English subtitles.
Okay. Okay.
So before I was watching it and then like I didn't understand something and then I would turn on the subtitles one or the other. Or first like I watch it in English with English, with English subtitles, I mean. And
Yeah.
then watch it again in Persian and then when I didn't understand, you can pause it and then you can switch the subtitles or even
Oh,
like cut and
nice.
paste the word I think into yeah, but now I installed language reactor
Oh, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just does both subtitles at the same time.
Yeah. That's also great. And you can make one bigger and one smaller as well, right? And switch that around.
Yeah, I think so. I just the one I just does Farsi at the top and then it's yeah, English
Yeah.
underneath
Very
it.
small English just in case you need it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And then I think you have to pay after like a week or so for this extra bit. But initially I could click on the word and save them if I knew them and didn't. But even that's not important for me right now because I don't want to really I do a little bit of flashcarding occasionally, but I don't really like it and I don't feel like it ever really works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I look at these words and I'm like, oh, I know this sort of know the word, but I never can produce it in when I need it. The only
No.
things I think I can really do is if something I've heard before a bunch of times, or something that has been told directly from me from a teacher or something like that. So yeah, I watch these videos over and over again, and then I talk with a teacher once a week or so.
Oh, you talk with the teacher once a week? Okay, online. Or
Yeah, I talkie. I like talking to them as well because you don't know these people at all. You can pretty much it's like you can say anything you want. I'm not
yeah.
rude or anything, but you can just tell them your problem. It's like a free therapy, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also what what I do sometimes with the teacher, don't tell him, but is that he asked me a question and I, for example, he would ask me my profession, right? And if
Yeah.
I don't know the word for teacher, I would just say I'm a doctor, for example.
Yeah, you can lie. You can lie as well. It's not a crime.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly. The whole point is for you to I mean, yeah, every time I talk to them, I say stuff all the time that I don't really believe, but it's just for me to say something because it might be a little bit shocking to them and then it'll keep the conversation going, right? Like
yeah.
say like I think I asked if there are a lot of dogs in Iran and they said no, there aren't. And I'm like, I think that's beautiful because I hate dogs. I don't love, blah blah blah. Actually, I really don't
No.
like dogs. I don't really like dogs. I mean, I don't hate them, but I'm not a dog fan. But when I first started, I did more, and I think it was helpful. Like I had a grammar book, um, and I went through it and like copied out some of the sentences just to get an idea of how where does the verb go? What is when you're saying you're doing something right now, you use the what mandaram, blah 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 blah. Just to
Mhm.
like learn those things. But then after you know that on an intellectual level, then like know what else I'm supposed to do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I just
yeah.
have to do something every day, I guess. But
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm struggling with now because as you maybe you know, maybe you don't, but I'm still at this level where I can understand the basic stuff.
mm,
I can have like the introductory conversations, like hello, where you from, what do you do, what are your hobbies, blah blah blah. And then when we want to talk about something real, I can't. And
okay, yeah.
I understand words, but not I cannot really I don't understand enough to really respond when somebody tells me about a book they're reading, for example, or I can understand what they did yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I can maybe tell what I did yesterday, but I can't tell how I feel about that. And then I can't go very deep. That's it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I cannot just like I do in other language. I would just read about difficult things, and then I know that talking about them will come. But difficult texts in Farsi, I just can't, except for when I really plow through it for like 2 hours or something. And I
Yeah.
don't feel like doing that right now, you know?
Yeah, I don't think you should because it's not fun. And that's why I like watching these videos, these B plus videos, because they're ones about history and different things that I sort of know a little bit about, but maybe don't. There's some about Iranian history, and then there's about European history. And
Mm-hmm.
but you can also you can read along too. You know, you can read the Farsi, and then but you can also listen. So it's like I
Okay,
think it's a
you're
good
going
way
to
to
do
build
that.
up on that level. So you're actually, you know, you can, you know, you're having the I was gonna say Untertitel, and I was going to say like the German,
Subtitles?
the subtitles, yeah. And then hopefully you're building up the reading as well as the listening at the same time. But I mean, I don't know, like if you think back on when you learned Spanish, do you remember how you did it? Because I don't remember how I learned German or how it went from one point to another. There's just I remember not being able to do things, and then now I'm
And
like,
I'm
oh, I know
suddenly,
what that.
yeah,
Yeah,
what got me through was basically just reading and listening a
yeah,
lot of stuff.
yeah,
And mostly I did that on this app Link. And now I know that I can do that in Farsi too. It would just take longer.
yeah,
But I'm just not enjoying it as much. And
yeah.
so I chose to do another approach right now, and that is like I'm just going to write 1,000 sentences.
When you write the sentences, are they sentences that you're coming up with on your own, or are they sentences you find and then you copy out to like as flashcards, or
So far, I've been using stories that I've already read. I'm
okay,
going
yeah,
through them again, and I copy it. So I don't write it myself. I copy it onto a paper, and then it just
yeah.
feels nice to make the stack
Yeah,
grow.
I think it's a good idea, yeah, to have kind of a measure of what you've done. But I
Yeah,
think you should also, yeah, if you, I don't know if it works or not, but I think watching content as well that is enjoyable, like you have to maybe like yeah, make it comprehensible, but with the subtitles, just find
yeah.
something that you're interested in and do that because making yourself watch children's stories or have to do these sort of things, I don't think is some people can do it, some people can't.
I'm looking for something chill to do, and I think I'll take your podcast actually, the B plus thing.
Yeah, so it is a podcast as well, so you can actually listen to it. But yeah, it's there's video. You know, so there's a guy, then there's pictures of stuff. I've been watching one about so I watched that like 10 times now.
Oh, you watched it multiple times, yeah?
Yeah. I thought maybe I don't know. I'm gonna see if it works
That
or what it
helps.
does. I watched another one. It was a few months ago. I watched another one that was like 20 minutes long about it was about the Vatican or something like that. And it was shorter, and I watched that like a few times, and then I noticed it like stuff just stuck into my brain.
Nice.
Like what was it? Rodhanea Tiber, you know, the river Tiber. I don't know if it's the quickest way to do it. I think maybe if I had discipline and I could just power through with traditional studying, maybe that would help me. It's not going to hurt me, obviously, but I just don't have the energy, and I'm just trying to have fun with it, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like a great way, especially if you want to learn to speak, right? Because
Yeah.
is your goal only to be able to speak, or do you also want to be able to read literature and or write essays, or what's your goal?
I want to be able to read literature as well, but I feel like I need to learn how to speak first. You know, I need to get a decent level of being able to understand when people speak, you know, my comprehension in spoken and yeah, in spoken Persian needs to be a lot better before I could try to really start reading, I think. And this helps a little bit with reading because of the subtitles. It's just not necessary, and it'll be easier for me, to my mind, it'll be easier for me later when I know more words and I have more experience reading simple things like subtitles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because and also because of the nature of Farsi, right? Because you need to know how the word sounds before you can recognize it.
Yeah.
If you are going to recognize it by seeing it for the first time. If you're going to recognize what word it is, even though you see it for the first time, you need to know the sound.
Yeah.
And that's not the case in other languages necessarily. In English, a little bit, but in Spanish, it's not at all like that. For example,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it really doesn't matter if you read it or hear it, but you can do both things after, right? So,
Yeah. So my hope is that maybe in like 6 months or so, then maybe I can start to read something. But yeah, I don't
okay,
know.
so you do have a plan, kind of, because it sounds like you're super chill about it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I want to see how it goes, and then I want to be keep it right, you know, do it every day. Is what that's the only thing I want to make sure I'm doing. And I
Yeah.
know that it's better from when I started. I don't think it's great, but it's better from when I when I started. And then you have to have faith, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's what all these super polyglots say, right? If you do something every day and then just trust the process, you'll get there anyway.
To get to the my level of what I think would be fluent would be like a 4-year process, is what I, you know, because I'm at like 2 years now, and I feel like the
Yeah, so
process should take,
I
or
was first aiming at 3 years to get to a B2 level.
yeah,
But that was with 1 hour a day in mind, and I
yeah,
just can't do 1 hour a day. I mean, I don't want to do 1 hour a day.
yeah.
Too many things in life, but I think also 4 to get to B2.